r/rules horror. Posted by u/impossible_leave_622. Fly, free, time and space. The Wednesday before my first shift I got a message from Andrew. It read, "Hello, Mrs. Cooper. Your shift will begin at 1 p.m. Please wear the company uniform you should have received in the mail. The uniform should stop any creature from taking you. When your shift starts another one is ending. Keep in mind that you are the only one allowed into the control tower when your shift start. If you see anyone else still in the tower, wait for them to exit and then begin your shift. Just a friendly reminder. Andrew." After reading the message, a thought came to my mind. What uniform? I was never given a uniform. That's when I hear the doorbell ring. I can tell someone dropped off a package on the door as I walk towards it. When I opened the door, I saw a car speeding away. I couldn't make out what its kind of car it was. I then looked down and saw a clear plastic bag with a uniform inside. I picked it up to examine it. The shirt read "Fly Free" on the front. I then took it inside an open bag. There were 2 sets of clothes in the bag. The shirts on the back read "Time Control Tower Specialist." The pants were black with red stripes. The belt line had something's written. It looked like a foreign language, but the wording was in blue and white letters. Curiosity got the better of me and I spent the rest of the day googling the foreign language and I came up empty. So, I decided to go to bed and deal with the rest in the morning before work. After I woke up and did my morning exercise and had breakfast, I started to mentally preparing for an intense work day. I put on my uniform and decided to get to work early. Once I got to the parking lot, I pulled out the rules to read them one more time before heading in. Rule 1. There is going to be a flight every hour of your shift. When you come in contact with the pilot, ask him what year is he coming from. If it's not your year, tell him runway is full, please circle back and wait for your time. Rule 1A. If he is from your year, direct the pilot to the runway, just make sure there is no other plane landing or taking off. Rule 2. When you are working in the tower, you will be alone and no one else will be with you. Lock your door and don't let anyone in. This is of utmost importance. You don't want to meet the other control tower specialists that use this tower. Some of them are from other dimensions and other are just from other times. Rule 3. While you are overseeing the runway and you see it change, it means your shift is over and it is time for you to leave. You don't want to stay and meet the next tower control specialist. Again, you do not want to meet the other control tower specialist. Rule 4. On your way out of the terminal, make sure you are on your own time. If you are not, simply walk into the room labeled space and time. Once inside, you will see a small room with a table. On the table there will be red paper and white pencil. Simply write the date you worked and that you are from Earth Dimension 1. Then slide it into the mailbox on the wall. Give it 5 minutes and you may exit the room. You will see the lobby back to the date you are from. Rule 4A. If you are not back to your time, simply repeat the process and it will take you back to your time. Rule 5. When you come into work, make sure the receptionist is the same lady you spoke to on your way in, and always greet her on your way in. If you ignore her, you might not have a time to return to at the end of your shift. Rule 6. If you see any other creatures in here, they are more than likely workers. Avoid them at all cost and don't make eye contact, simply do your business and keep to yourself. Same applies for other humans with the exception of Andrew. No matter the time, he will always be there to help. Once I was done, I saw that the time on my watch read 12:25 p.m. I decided to walk on early and get a feel of my workload ahead. When I walked into the lobby, I immediately felt out of place. It looked like a jungle in here. The chairs in the lobby looked to be made out of trees, they are still attached to the ground. The next thing that caught my attention was the counter. It seemed like an old log that was just carved into a counter. The receptionist, she looked the same as she always has. I walked up to her to greet her as per Rule 5. "Hello, I am Mrs. Cooper, ready for my first day," I said. "Hi, yes, I've been waiting for you. Please wait here until it's time for you to go in. Right now, is the big guy working? You don't want to interrupt him," she replied. Her voice sounded deep, yet similar to the one from the other day. "Okay, thank you," I said. I proceeded to wait for my shift to start, my eyes wandering from corner to corner. This place is as truly transformed into a jungle. There were vines connecting the place from doors to doors. There were humanoid monkeys swinging from place to place trying to get to work, or leave. After a moment, the receptionist called for me. "Hey, Mrs. Cooper, don't look around. Even if this is one of the most passive dimensions, keep to yourself," she said. That's when it clicked on me, I was breaking one of the rules. I then looked down at the ground and reset myself. I checked my watch, the time was 12:55 p.m. I decided to head over to the control tower. Walking down the hall I noticed that the tree vines ran through this hall. Once I got to the door, in bright white letters it read, Control Tower Office. Underneath that in a rectangle box with the phrase, Dimension 34, time 2032. I then checked my watch again, time was 12:59 p.m. As the time turned to 1 p.m., my surroundings started to change. The vines started to disappear. The hall now looks modern and new. The door now read, Control Tower Office and the rectangle box now read Dimension 1, time 2021. The door opened and I looked down. I needed to keep to myself, as this specialist exits and leaves for the day. Once he passed me, I glanced at him for a split second. My curiosity got the better of me. I was not expecting this creature to have a humanoid figure, with bat-like wings on his back. The wings were gray in color. I decided to move into the office and close fast. I didn't want to find out why there was a bat-like man in the tower, while the lobby was a jungle. Once I sat down, I felt at home. The tower looked just like the one I used to use at the Air Force. There was a little bit of downtime before the first airplane started to communicate. During the downtime I scanned my surroundings. The runway looked new and the airplane boarding was just like a commercial boarding. Control tower, come in. The radio interrupted my train of thought. I picked up the radio. Go for control tower, I said. Is the runway clear for landing? The voice on the other side asked. I checked the computer, pulled up the schedule, checked the time. I saw that the runway was clear for landing. Runway is. I cut myself of remembering the rules. What year is it? I asked the pilot. Madam, the year is 1995. What year would it be? He replied. Runway is full, please circle back and wait for your time, I stated. Then the transmission ended. I looked out the windows to see if I could spot the plane, but nothing. After about 6 hours I felt hungry. I realized I didn't pack lunch. As my stomach rumbled, I heard someone walking up the hall. I made sure that the door was locked. Someone attempted to open the door. Hey, I brought you food. Open up. The voice was deep, chilling, and I knew I had to keep the door close. I decided I was not going to reply to this voice at all. I.e. Open up now. The voice is getting angry now. Then he started to bang on the door. The banging continued for about 15 minutes. Fine, you won't eat today. The voice sounded like it was giving up. Then I heard the footsteps walk away from the door. I continued to follow the rules and direct plane traffic accordingly. Then when I checked my watch, time was 10:55 p.m. I have been 10 hours when I saw a small fog creep over from the woods. It looked like it was swiping over the airport. The airport started to change. The road, the buildings, the windows, the small cars that carry gear, and even the airplanes. They started to turn dark, black, and some of the windows had orange and red ooze dripping down them. The road had cracks and steam was coming out of those cracks. Then it clicked on me, it's time for me to go. I remembered one of the rules. Rule 3. While you are overseeing the runway and you see it change, it means your shift is over and it is time for you to leave. You don't want to stay and meet the next tower control specialist. Again, you do not want to meet the other control tower specialist. I then grabbed my things and headed out. As I walked out, I could tell that the next control tower specialist was standing on the left side of the hall against the wall looking down. I did my best to avoid eye contact, but I was able to get a glimpse of it. The creature looked tall, had a humanoid shape with only pants on with its upper body exposed. Its skin was gray with black mix. I was able to see that his head were more like claws than hands. I decided I had seen enough. Kept to myself and walked by it. Once I got to the lobby, I noticed I was in some sort of hell. All the creatures had wings, dark expressions, and sharp teeth. I looked down to keep to myself. I then walked up to the counter and looked at the receptionist. She had not changed. It's still the same lady that has been helping me out. Keep to yourself, Mrs. Cooper. This dimension feels on souls. Don't let them have yours, she whispered to me. Thank you, have a nice one, I said, then walked to the space and time room. In order to follow Rule 4. Rule 4. On your way out of the terminal, make sure you are on your own time. If you are not, simply walk into the room labeled space and time. Once inside, you will see a small room with a table. On the table there will be red paper and white pencil. Simply write the date you worked and that you are from Earth Dimension 1. Then slide it into the mailbox on the wall. Give it 5 minutes and you may exit the room. You will see the lobby back to the date you are from. After 5 minutes I opened the door and saw my lobby again. I walked over to the counter before heading out. "Hello, excuse me, I never got your name," I asked the receptionist. "My name is Casavira. I am here to help people. What time is it for you?" Her question puzzled me. I checked my watch. "It's 2 p.m., I said with a confusing tone. Was it not about to be 11 p.m.? "Listen, the job seems easy, you keep to yourself and follow simple instructions on top of your basic ones, right? What they don't tell you is that you will waste your life here really fast. When 1 hour passed in this dimension, your body aged 10 hours. So, are you going to continue working here?" she asked me.